Jake suffered from severe rut-induced psychosis. His mother, Elizabeth, approached me with money after discovering I was a perfect hormonal match. 200,000 per session. Help my son through his rut. I readily agreed. Psychosis? A good beating would sort him out. After thoroughly enjoying the fight, I pressed my foot against his abs and smirked while tugging my collar. Want a bite? Beg me. Crossing my legs on the sofa, I eyed the cash-filled briefcases lining the table. Jake's rut psychosis is extreme. Only a perfectly matched omega can calm him. Elizabeth continued. You're the only 100% compatible candidate. This money transfers immediately upon agreement. My gaze shifted between the stacks and her aristocratic features. The famously sharp-tongued Wilson matriarch looked every bit the Upper East Side socialite. With genes like hers, the son couldn't be half bad. When I stayed silent, Elizabeth exhaled faintly. 300,000 per session. Or name your terms. I chuckled, sprawling back in the armchair. My concern isn't the price. You mentioned your son's violent tendencies. What if he attacks me? Naturally, I won't play punching bag. I'll defend myself, fight back if necessary. Are we clear? Elizabeth nodded. Any injuries will be fully compensated plus additional damages. Good enough. I cracked my neck and stood. Let's meet this rabid Rottweiler. Jake's bedroom reeked of pheromones thick enough to make my eyes water. Without suppressants, I'd have been compromised. Shattered decor littered the floor. By the window sat a disheveled man with bloodshot eyes. Get out. I studied his angular features. Not bad. My type exactly. Fucking deaf? I set out. Jake hurled a vase. I dodged as crystal exploded against the door. The pheromone cloud intensified with his rage. TSK. Feisty one. Needs training. Pocketing my hands, I stepped over debris until we were 3 paces apart. 2 options. I knock you unconscious to endure this rut alone, or you take a temporary bite. Choose. Christ. You dumb bitch. He lunged to drag me out. My spinning kick sent him crashing into the sofa. Heavy bastard. Behave. I hate wasting energy. Jake snarled like a caged animal, clawing at cushions, chest heaving. The tension snapped. He pounced. I sidestepped, hooked his shoulder, and crack. The floor shook as I body-slammed him. Dazed, he blinked up at me. My boot trailed down his chest to rest on defined abs. I casually bit my fingertip. Blood bloomed with pheromones. Jake froze, pupils swallowing irises as he fixated on my neck. Seeing this, I slightly pulled open my collar to expose my collarbone, tilting my head to look down at the man beneath me. Want a bite? Beg me. Dead silence hung between us as our gazes locked. After a moment, Jake finally seemed to lose patience, his scorching palm gripping my ankle before sliding up my calf beneath the pant leg. His voice came out hoarse. I'm begging you. Let me bite you. Sharp teeth pierced the soft skin of my nape as potent pheromones flooded my glands. A stifled moan escaped me as I desperately clutched the curtains, fighting to stay upright. Take it easy. Jake's arms encircled me from behind, his mouth still working at my scent gland with low, satisfied growls vibrating against my skin. Our alpha and omega pheromones intertwined until they became indistinguishable. After catching my breath, I pushed Jake away and reapplied my scent suppressant patch before collapsing onto the couch. Back to your senses now? The man blinked several times, clarity returning to his eyes as pink tinged his earlobes. He shuffled to sit across from me like a chastened schoolboy. So, what are we now? What? I frowned. We're nothing. Jake's head snapped up, his disheveled hair practically forming a question mark. But your mother Elizabeth pays me. I cut him off. She's my client. His expression cracked like ancient pottery. You're my stepdad? Absolute nonsense. Sitting upright, I enunciated clearly, I'm Sean. Your pheromone profile is a national rarity. Coincidentally, so is mine, making me the only omega in the country with 100% compatibility to yours. Your mother hired me to manage your rut-induced aggression. This was purely transactional. Understood? Jake, could you just spit it all out at once? I thought I'd cuckolded my own mother. He exhaled sharply, roughly running fingers through his hair. Anyway, since I've marked you, temporary mark, I interrupted. Payment's been settled. Our business concluded the moment your rut stabilized. Now if you'll excuse me. As I stood, Jake lunged to grab my wrist. Where do you think you're going? Home? Was there something else? Jake's jaw worked like he was chewing rocks. My rut cycle isn't finished. What if I lose control again? You took the money. See it through properly. Fair point. What do you propose? Stay. Provide support when needed. He stated with finality. I surveyed the studio apartment, single bed, love seat, 0 sleeping options. Where exactly would I sleep? For the record, I don't share beds. Ever. Easy. Jake waved dismissively. Take the floor. Plenty of blankets. After considering, I nodded. Fine. But this requires overtime pay. Later that night, as I comfortably scrolled through my phone, Jake tossed restlessly on his makeshift pallet. Unbelievable. He suddenly erupted, sitting up. This is my place. Why am I on the floor? I didn't look up from my screen. Already told you, hard surfaces ruin my beauty sleep. But my bed is 6 feet wide. Do you need to swim in your sleep? Why can't we put a quilt in the middle and sleep on separate sides? I'm a principled person. I won't do anything to you. Can't you get over your princess act? I smirked sarcastically while turning off the lights. Stop fussing. Sleeping on the floor is good for your back. Good night. Silence lingered in the darkness before Jake's roar erupted. Then why don't you sleep on the floor? I rolled over, turning my back to him. Because my back is perfectly fine, and it's basic courtesy for alphas to yield to omegas. Now shut up, I'm tired. He kept grumbling, but I ignored him and drifted off. Truthfully, I hadn't approached Jake just for the paycheck from his mother Elizabeth. I was curious. I'd known he'd be my alpha for years. My mom, a self-proclaimed prophetess, had predicted every major life event with eerie accuracy, calling it the plot's inevitability. She'd enrolled me in combat classes as a kid, declaring, Omegas shouldn't just be pretty flowers, we should kick every alpha's ass. Back then, undifferentiated, I'd protested, I won't be an Omega. She'd patted my shoulder pityingly. Sweetheart, you'll not only be an Omega but inherit my legendary beauty. Every alpha will crave you. Until you meet your destined Jake. You'll knock out every trash alpha who tries to claim you. Though fair warning, Jake's got issues too. If he growls at you, punch him. That's how I first heard Jake's name. My future mate. Everything unfolded as predicted. I presented as Omega. Half the alphas in school sent creepy love letters. Half of those attempted harassment. All ended up whimpering on the ground. My notorious reputation made alphas literally cross the street to avoid me. I'd waited years to see what this legendary alpha looked like. Today's revelation? No wonder he's my fated match. Every feature hit my ideal. Even his scent synced perfectly with mine. Just needs attitude adjustment. Next morning, I woke pinned. An arm and leg trapped my waist and thighs. Warm breath ghosting my neck. This sexual harasser. I roundhouse kicked Jake off the bed. The Wilson family servants treated me like their savior. Their butler confessed they'd never survived Jake's ruts this peacefully before. My mere presence cured his rabid dog mode, and skin contact made him preen like a peacock. When I prepared to leave, the staff lined up tearfully. Jake leaned against the doorway, scowling. Why the waterworks? She's not your mistress. Sure, not yet, but you'll beg me to be. Rolling my eyes, I slipped on my shoes. Before I'd taken 3 steps, Jake grabbed my shoulder, pouting. Sean, remember our contract. We might not be dating, but you can't let other alphas know. Betas either touch you. Got it? I arched a brow. The contract only covers calming your ruts. Since when do you control my freedom? Jake's face cycled through colors like malfunctioning traffic lights before he blurted. Your scent calms me. Other people's pheromones will trigger worse episodes. All right. I pocketed my hands and leaned in, closing the gap to near-kissing distance. His ears flushed crimson as I whispered, I'll comply if I'll pay extra. Anticipatory bargaining. Smirking, I straightened and walked away. Deal. After returning, I buried myself in the lab working on my graduate thesis. Normally, an alpha's rut cycles occur every 1 to 3 months. Yet barely 10 days later, the butler called. "Mr. Stewart, please come quickly. Young Master Jake is in terrible condition." I frowned. How? Wasn't it just? Abandoning my experimental data, I raced to the private dining suite at Ritz Hotel. The entire floor had been evacuated. Wilson family guards swarming the entrance. Jake's pheromones saturated the air with alarming intensity. Even through my inhibitor patches, the effect was palpable. Beneath the overwhelming scent lingered another unfamiliar trace. What happened? I demanded. The butler wiped his brow. Young Master Jake was negotiating with Mr. Harper when an Omega server went into heat during service. The situation escalated. He contained himself until others evacuated. But now, he gestured helplessly at the locked door. No one dares enter. Perfect timing. Shedding my jacket, I began stretching my shoulders. "Mr. Stewart, what are you?" "Warming up." The butler's eyes bulged as I cracked my neck. "Unless you'd rather wait for him to demolish this building?" The metallic click of the door latch echoed ominously. Jake's pheromones hit me like a physical blow, primal, demanding, laced with unfamiliar sweetness. The VIP lounge looked like a war zone. Marble tables split diagonally, chairs reduced to splintered carcasses. Hunched in the farthest corner, Jake's labored breathing stilled as the door closed. His head snapped up, crimson-rimmed eyes locking onto me with feral intensity. Veins throbbed along his temples as he rose, movements deliberate as a stalking panther. When he suddenly stumbled forward, I braced for impact. Instead, furnace-hot arms enveloped me with shocking gentleness. His nose nuzzled my collar, voice gravel rough. "Where were you?" The words vibrated against my skin. I waited so long. His teeth grazed my scent gland, restraint evident in the trembling hands cradling my face. "Can I kiss you?" The plea emerged broken, desperation warring with reverence in his blown pupils. I studied the sweat-damp hair clinging to his forehead, the bitten red lips parted in anticipation. "No." The karate chop landed cleanly on his pressure point. Jake collapsed into my arms, betrayal flashing across his features before consciousness fled. Cradling his dead weight, I snorted at his dramatically parted lips. "Rest well, drama king." "Just kidding. I don't want to deal with temporary markings in public." "Jake, get in here and haul your young master away." "Coming." "Is it over already?" "That was quick." "Good Lord. What happened to him?" I handed the unconscious Jake over to Butler Wilson, massaging my sore shoulder. "I knocked him out. Let's get him home first. We'll talk details there." The room glowed faintly from a nightlight. Jake's long lashes cast shadows over his sharp jawline, softening its edges. I sat beside him, leaning close to study his straight nose and thin lips. He really is handsome. That nose looks kissable, and those lips look biteable. Bet he's a good kisser. My finger barely grazed his mouth when Jake stirred awake. He blinked at me groggily before suddenly remembering our earlier scuffle, eyes widening comically. "Sean, you ambushed me." I batted my lashes innocently. "Just sparing you the discomfort. See? Worked like a charm. You're safely home now." Jake gaped, eyebrows nodding into an offended 8, as if my face screamed, unreasonable. After prolonged glaring, he turned away with a pout. "I fought tooth and nail to stay calm until you arrived. And this is how you treat me? No kisses, no comfort, just violence. You're heartless. Now I'm emotionally unstable, next killing me, and having a heart attack. This condition's incurable. Figure out how to fix it." He yanked the blanket up, leaving only resentful eyes shouting, "Comfort me now." I chuckled. Since when did he become so needy? Not that I minded. Closing my eyes, I brushed a feather-like kiss on his forehead. Reward for behaving today. Complimentary, no charge. Jake stared, stunned. The air thickened with pheromones. I swatted him through the blanket. "Rein it in before you lose control again." Silent, he suddenly flipped me across the bed, trapping me in a nest of blankets. His teeth tugged at the suppressant patch on my neck. "Sean, can I bite you?" I need to bite you. His voice roughened with intensity as dominant yet gentle pheromones enveloped us. Go ahead, I murmured, tilting my head. That's why I'm here. With me around. Jake behaved impeccably. No more glaring at staff or terrorizing the Wilson family's endlessly replaced furniture. He even greeted the butler cheerfully each morning, reducing the old man to grateful tears. Though his condition improved, the clinginess intensified. He shadowed me everywhere, waiting outside showers, nuzzling my neck during sleep, nearly pulling me onto his lap at meals. I barely survived until his rut ended, bolting home the moment his hormones stabilized. Even after moving out, I couldn't escape Jake's constant barrage of texts. Where are you? What are you doing? No alphas around, right? Can I come over for dinner? And so on. At first I'd humor him with a reply or two, but eventually realized he was just bored and stopped responding. This only made him escalate to phone calls. When I ignored those, driver Lou got roped into his antics. Mr. Stewart. Jake says he'll hang himself if you don't answer his calls. Mr. Stewart. Jake swears he'll starve himself if you don't have dinner with him. Mr. Stewart. Help. Jake is losing control and about to start throwing punches again. Mr. Stewart. Stop. I finally snapped, massaging my temples wearily as I closed my research notes filled with lab data. Tell Jake I'll come over tonight. Tell him to shut up until then. You got it. Driver Lou chirped, practically skipping away to deliver the message. Slumping back in my office chair, I rubbed my stiff neck and chuckled despite myself. It had been weeks since I last saw Jake. Doing the math, my heat cycle would arrive in 2 months. That evening, as I headed toward the Wilson estate, I spotted a familiar car parked outside campus. The Wilson family chauffeur emerged, bowing deeply before opening the rear door with ceremonial precision, one hand resting formally over his vest. The formality made me feel like some mob boss. I wordlessly slid into the leather seats. The door hadn't fully closed before being crushed against Jake's chest. His aristocratic nose nuzzled my collarbone. Missed you so much. I smacked the back of his head. Get off before I file sexual harassment charges. Jake mumbled into my shoulder. Doesn't count. Besides He abruptly changed tack, declaring with fake solemnity. Just exercising my spousal privileges early. I pretended not to comprehend, leaning against the window as he shamelessly groped and nuzzled. Jake perfected the art of clinginess that night. Though he didn't cross any lines, sleeping trapped in his octopus grip felt like being a eucalyptus tree hosting rabid koalas. Anyone would have thought it was his rut cycle approaching. His ironclad embrace left me stiff-necked and sore by morning. I wriggled free from the sleeping alpha, arching my back with audible pops. Having fulfilled my boyfriend duties, it was time to wrap up lab work. Post-shower, I descended the grand staircase to find an androgynous Eurasian male Omega waiting in the foyer. Our eyes met. He froze, then sprang up dramatically. Who are you? What are you doing in Jake's house? The Omega's delicate features twisted. You're his kept lover, aren't you? What sort of soap opera was this? The brat crossed his arms. Humph. Sugar baby or not, stay away. I'm Ian, Jake's future husband. I arched an eyebrow. Fiancé? Exactly. You know how rare Jake's pheromone profile is. We share 70% compatibility. That primal chemical pull is irresistible. Do the math. Leave now before this gets messy. I nodded thoughtfully. True. Higher compatibility rates do amplify biological drives. They significantly sway mate selection. You get it. Ian brushed his bangs. The butler materialized like a ghost at his elbow. Mr. Green. This is Mr. Sean Stewart. He's not someone Jake is keeping, but their pheromone compatibility is 100%. The old man emphasized 100% with a proud lilt. Ian stared at me in disbelief, looking me up and down with a shifting expression. After a beat, he stammered, So what? Compatibility isn't everything. Feelings matter more. Passing scores are enough. You haven't seen Jake during his rut, have you? He's got severe aggression issues, wants to fight everyone, but he's never laid a hand on me. Need I say more? Ian puffed up like a preening peacock. Before I could respond, the butler interjected. TSK. That's because Jake only fights alphas, not omegas. You should see him around Mr. Stewart. He clicked his tongue, acting all obedient, like a well-trained dog, just taking the hits. Ian froze mid-glare. How dare you hit people? Why would Jake keep a barbarian like you in the Wilson family? This is outrageous, MMPH. The butler shoved a bread roll into Ian's mouth. Nonsense. Jake's perfectly willing. He'd gladly take a beating every day. The butler ignored Ian's bulging eyes, presenting me tea with grandfatherly warmth. Mr. Stewart, this is premium black tea. You worked hard last night. Care for a taste? Ian crunched through the bread. But Jake promised to marry me. That was from playing house when he was 3. He definitely doesn't acknowledge that now. Auntie Elizabeth said it too. 20 years ago. Back then Mrs. Wilson even said he should marry 3 at once. Ian wheeled on me. Stewart, don't you dare get any ideas. Seriously. These two covered all the dialogue. What's left for me to say? I silently took a few sips of the tea, found it disagreeable, set it down, and patted the butler's shoulder. I'm heading back to a university. Contact me if anything comes up. Why are you leaving now? As I turned to go, Jake stumbled downstairs in disheveled pajamas, bedhead crowning his dazed expression. Ian lit up, fluttering toward him. Jake! Long time no see. I've missed. Jake sidestepped the tackle like he had built-in evasion software, letting Ian crash into the stair railing. I asked why you're leaving so soon, he said, brushing hair from my forehead. I glanced at Ian gnawing the banister under the butler's restraint. Your fiancé's still here. It's inappropriate. If I stay, I'll just end up hitting you again. What fiancé? Don't slander me. He trailed me like a lost puppy. Stay a few more days. You'll just ignore me again when work piles up. Hit me if you want. I'm tough, you could whip me and I'd take it. I ignored the overgrown golden retriever, making for the foyer. The butler's whisper carried as I left. See? Told you he's into it. Jake whined after me. There's really nothing between us. He's just my mom's friend's son. I'd forgotten he existed until he showed up. Everything he said is bullshit. Don't believe a word, it's all sabotage. Stay a few more days. Will you? I really can't sleep without you at night. Sleep deprivation could trigger my relapse, and then all your efforts would go down the drain. Sean? Baby? Sweetheart? Are you even listening? The sudden endearments made my skin crawl, and I quickly turned to stop him. I need to finish my final experiments at the university. My thesis still lacks some critical data. This determines whether I graduate with my master's degree. It's crucial. I'll be swamped these next few days. Be good and stay out of trouble. Understood? Compared to that omega, my research concerned me more. Jake's face scrunched up, but seeing my stern expression, he slumped like a deflated balloon and mumbled, Okay. The nearly 6'3" man hunched his shoulders dejectedly. If he had a tail, it would have dragged on the floor. Taking pity, I added, If you really miss me, you can call after 10 p.m. Before that, I'll still be in the lab. Instantly revived, Jake hooped and spun me around 3 times. As I reflexively prepared to flip him over his shoulder, he darted in to peck my lips. Focus on your work, but don't overdo it. Mr. Lou, have the driver take Sean back to campus. The chauffeur appeared instantly. I got into the car with my pulse still erratic, pressing a thumb to my lower lip as we merged into traffic. Friday night? I'm not sure if I'm free. Can you clear your schedule? All those jerks are bringing their spouses. I can't show up alone. It's embarrassing. We haven't had a proper reunion in ages. I need you there. Locking the lab door, I switched the phone to my other ear. Isn't Ian available? Ask him. A growl came through the receiver. Sean, this marks the 88th time I've told you there's nothing between Ian and me. Keep this up and I'll hang a damn I'm innocent sign around my neck before jumping off a bridge. You'd have to collect my corpse anyway. I snorted. You're laughing? You'd actually be happy if I died. Wouldn't you? Planning your second marriage already? Enough dramatics. Fine, I'll go. Jake finally hung up, satisfied. With experiments completed, humoring him seemed harmless. Exhausted and hungry after days of non-stop work, I headed out for late-night snacks. Passing an alley, I heard fragmented pleas for help. Squinting, I saw two thugs cornering someone. TSK. Bold little shits. Cracking my knuckles, I approached and tapped their shoulders. Who the hell? An Omega? Pretty thing. Wanna play with us too? I grinned. I'm your worst nightmare. A kick sent one crashing into the wall, plaster dust raining down. The other lunged. 2 precise hooks and a judo throw later, both lay wailing on the ground. They scrambled away when I reached for my phone. Dusting off my jacket, I turned to find Ian, trembling and tearful, launching himself at me. Are you brain dead? I snapped as he clung to me, sniveling. You're defenseless. Why wander into bars alone? What if I hadn't passed by? I wanted to see if Jake still cared. He hiccuped. Asked him to pick me up, but he just sent my family driver. I flicked his forehead. And? Your driver's job is to drive you. You stormed off alone. Didn't notice being tailed, you'll get yourself killed someday. Ian peeked at me, inching closer to clutch my sleeve. Thanks for saving me. You were amazing back there. Can I call you Big Brother Sean? Ignoring him, I walked off, but he kept chirping the title all the way to the noodle shop. Bro, that combo you just pulled off. Does it have a name? Can you teach me? I want to beat Jake like that. You have no idea. For a second there, everything went slow-mo. I almost thought I was falling for you. So damn cool, no wonder Jake's into you. Compared to you, I'm just a scrawny weakling, all dry and stringy. The Green family's driver finally arrived, showering me with gratitude. Ian kept yapping in my ear until I shoved him into the car. As it pulled away, he rolled down the window, cupping his hands to shout, Sean, I won't fight Jake anymore. He's all yours. As if he ever stood a chance. I watched the taillights disappear before grabbing takeout fried rice and leaving. At the party, Jake insisted on wrapping his arm around my waist. Gotta look madly in love, he claimed. His friends, all trust fund babies turned business sharks, were mostly married. I played my role as Jake's husband, quietly demolishing appetizers. After rounds of drinks, the conversation veered from stock markets to spousal bragging. My Jamie's too sweet. Gets up at 2 a.m. to make me hangover soup even when I'm wasted. Cheers erupted. I grabbed a lobster tail. My wife brings homemade lunches daily. Look at this dad bod she's feeding. Applause followed. I ladled more fish soup. Mine can't cook but clings to me like a koala every night. Laughter bubbled. As I scanned the buffet, Jake dropped a beef rib on my plate. He straightened up, clearing his throat dramatically. My husband's real protective too. When I get manic, he knocks me flat, even chops my neck to keep me from hurting myself. Silence. A bone clattered in someone's bowl. Every alpha and omega gaped at me. I smacked Jake's head. Shut your trap before I do it again. The crowd tensed, awaiting his fury. The idiot just grinned, refilling my soup. Eat up. Need some meat on those bones. Glasses clinked as guests swarmed me with respect. Sister-in-law. Toasts. Jake intercepted them all. I'll take these. My man doesn't drink. Cheers. By closing time, he'd turned into a human barnacle. Come on. Get off. Time to go home. Jake nuzzled my neck. Not without my husband. Who's your husband? You never even proposed. I hauled his drunk ass outside, only to freeze at a nasally voice. Well, if it isn't Mr. Wilson. Fancy meeting here. A balding man clutching a twink omega staggered over. Jake snapped sober, shielding me. Mr. Harper. Small world. Last time got interrupted. You're not leaving till we toast. The man pulled Jake into a nearby private room, busying himself with pouring drinks. Jake leaned close to my ear. This Mr. Harper has some connections. Our family's doing business with him, so we usually humor him. But he's scum. He nodded toward the trembling Omega. That's the server from Ruejo restaurant last month. Looks like Harper got his hands on him right after that incident. Mr. Harper chuckled while pouring wine, giving the Omega's backside a crude slap. What are you waiting for? Go toast Mr. Wilson. The young man flinched, accepting the glass with shaking hands before timidly approaching Jake. Mr. Wilson, I'd like to propose a toast. Though smiling, Harper's eyes remained cold and calculating. I frowned and intercepted the glass. Mr. Wilson's had enough. I'll take this one. When Jake reached for it, I downed the liquor in one gulp, coughing violently from the harsh burn. Are you okay? Jake's hand found mine as I shook my head, squeezing his wrist in reassurance. Harper's eyebrows shot up. And this is? My husband. He's not holding his liquor well. We'll continue this another time. Jake cut through Harper's protests, steering me firmly toward the exit. Slumped in the back seat, my head swam despite the cool night air. Unnatural heat flooded my veins, skin prickling with awareness. Jake's arm tightened around me as the faintest trace of my own pheromones teased my senses. Wrong timing, disastrous timing. His Adam's apple bobbed. Sean, when's your next scheduled heat? I collapsed against his chest, fists clutching his collar. The drink. Each breath scorched my throat. Spiked. Jake carried me straight to bed where I curled into shivering misery, drenched in cold sweat yet burning alive. Old Lou, get the inhibitors. But sir, we don't have any compatible with Mr. Stewart's physiology. The pharmacies. Borrow some. Contact Ian. Jake's knee dented the mattress as he wiped my forehead. My trembling fingers found his throbbing pulse point at the wrist. Maddening. Insufficient contact. Rational thought dissolved into primal need. Jake, temporary mark. I dragged him down, arching against his body. Bite me. His arm locked around my waist. Sharp pain pierced my neck as his canines breached the gland, flooding my system with stabilizing pheromones. My whimper dissolved into shuddering relief as he kissed my temple, soothing hand circling my back. Better? The reprieve lasted mere seconds before wildfire reignited tenfold. Every nerve screamed as I choked out. Doesn't temporary marks not working? My body liquefied, cells burning with desperate hunger. I want to. No. Jake cut me off sharply. Sean, you're under the influence right now. I don't want you making decisions you'll regret. He kept pressing feather-light kisses to my temple as he murmured, just hold on a little longer. The inhibitor's almost here. Be good, baby. Just a few more minutes. Lao Lu soon arrived with Ian carrying a medical case. The cold liquid injection brought everyone's anxious gazes upon me. I struggled upright, jaw clenched through the burning haze, before collapsing back onto the sheets. Useless. Even the inhibitor failed. A broken whimper escaped my throat. Mr. Green. Someone questioned. Is this expired? Impossible. This is the strongest imported inhibitor available. Ian's voice cracked. What the hell did he ingest? My consciousness floated in molten syrup. Clinging to Jake like a drowning man to driftwood, I kept slurring his name through scorched lips. Dimly, I heard his gruff command clearing the room. He cradled my limp body upright, tilting my chin until our eyes locked. Every word fell with deliberate weight. Sean, I planned to say this later, but circumstances changed things. I love you. Obsessively. Irrevocably. I want marriage, a shared home while breathing, a shared grave when buried. If I fully mark you now, is that acceptable? His question hung in the pheromone-thick air. My throat felt flayed raw, but I fisted his collar and sealed our lips in answer. The Wilson estate remained in lockdown for 3 days. When coherence returned, my body felt thoroughly used yet strangely cleansed. The foreign pheromones swirling through my glands left no doubt about our new bond. I squinted at the man currently using my chest as a pillow. Fragmented memories surfaced, tangled limbs, bitten promises, horse pleas. Heat flooded my cheeks. Revenge came via teeth sinking into Jake's bicep. He jolted awake, blinking sleepily until my glare registered. You're terrible at this, I croaked. His initial confusion shifted to apprehension. You remember what you agreed to, right? I batted innocent lashes. Every word. The tension melted from his shoulders as he pulled me closer, callous palm skating over bare skin. Thank God. Thought you might deny everything after, Listen carefully, husband. His lips brushed my ear. No cold shoulders. No refusing affection. No eyeing other alphas. You'll greet me each morning with kisses and I love yous. I chuckled at his growing list until silver glinted on my finger. Jake lifted my hand to kiss the simple band. Had this made weeks ago, he admitted. Planned some big proposal, but his grin turned wolfish. Since we've already crossed every line, no takebacks. I examined his matching ring, then our joined hands. The weight felt surprisingly right. The style was similar, but clearly expensive. My heart was filled with sweetness. I squeezed my fingers between Jake's, swaying our clasped hands contentedly before throwing myself into his arms. No regrets. I love you too, Mr. Harper was ultimately exposed for using illegal substances. Rumor had it the scheme specifically targeted Jake. Mr. Harper had planned to plant his own people in Jake's bed to blackmail the Wilson family into conceding more profits. A tactic he'd used multiple times before. My interference accidentally foiled the plot. Under Jake's orders, old Lou stuffed Mr. Harper into a burlap sack and beat him senseless at the docks. The Wilson and Green families then collaborated to gather evidence, ensuring the Harper family's political connections couldn't save them this time. As for Jake, he's currently obsessing over wedding preparations, micromanaging everything from floral arrangements to handwriting invitations. He's even dictating specific color schemes for guest attire. Elizabeth showed little surprise when hearing our news, patting my shoulder warmly. Sean dear, I've spoiled this rotten son of mine. You better keep him in line. If he misbehaves, just tell me. I'll tan his hide. Ian mumbled through a mouthful of bread. No need, Mrs. Wilson. Sean could floor him with one hand. Elizabeth nodded approvingly. That's my perfect daughter-in-law. Oh, I've already updated your mother. She'll return next month for our family dinner. That wild woman's been gallivanting across beaches too long. My mother? They know each other? As I stood confused, my phone rang, the woman currently ogling toned lifeguards on some tropical shore. Sweetie, Miss Mommy? Bet you're cuddled up with your hubby picking tuxedos. No. I deadpanned. Oh, don't be shy. I'm flying back in 2 weeks to finally meet the couple I've been shipping for half my life. Listen, no heavy lifting or exercise. Bloating and nausea are normal. It'll be fine after 3 months. Tell Jake to avoid tight suits, he'll need room to grow. Keep the ceremony simple too. His rut cycles get dangerously intense without a perfectly matched omega to. Ooh, 8-pack alert. Gotta go. What? I stared at the disconnected call. Jake froze mid-catalog browse. Tea overflowed from old Lou's trembling pot. Ian's half-chewed bread fell from his gaping mouth. Elizabeth screamed into her palms. Somebody call the doctor. We're doomed. The sky's literally falling.